What's up, guys? Vlog number 2. I got subscribers, surprisingly. I got views. I want to thank everybody who subscribed and who liked and who just generally viewed. I didn't even expect to get much from this, and I'm pleasantly surprised with the amount I got. I'm wearing glasses. Yes, it's still the same guy, but with glasses. Just parked at the Seminole Hard Rock. Gonna play at this property. Super excited. Haven't played for a couple weeks because I had a bunch of dentist work. Whatever you do, go to your dentist. 15, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 cavities. Are you bleeping kidding me? Yeah, that's what happens when you don't go 5 years. Deep cleaning, check. Root canal, check. Yeah, I'm going every 6 months, guaranteed. So this session was super frustrating. I didn't pick up any pairs at all. It was a really difficult session.
That's right. I saw it, that's right. Wait.
Hey guys, let's get into some hands. So I'm in the small blind, third hand of the night, 5-10 game, and I pick up pocket aces. Folds around to the cutoff who calls 10, the button calls 10, and it's back on me. I don't have much information about the table, so I'm gonna put in a raise, obviously, but I wanna make it to an amount where it's kind of sneaky or kind of looks like I'm stealing, so I make it $55. The cutoff folds and the button ends up re-raising, 3-betting me to $255. Now, this was a bit confusing considering he just called the 10, so either he's trying to steal the pot or he has a real hand. My decision is clear. I'm obviously not folding. I don't think raising makes sense considering my stack is around 1,000, and if I raise him, what am I going to min raise him? So he has around 2,000 in his stack. So I decide to just push all in and go in for about 1,085 total, including the 55 I had, and he ends up thinking for a while. So I don't think he's Hollywooding and just thinking for no reason. He clearly seems like he's not sure what to do, but he ends up making the call. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, I'm just shooting a poker vlog, yeah. No rush. I'm not rushing or anything, yeah. They can wait, yeah. Oh, wait, you guys wanted to know what happened with the hand. Oh, my bad. Yeah, so anyways, he ends up making the call, and like I said earlier, I went in for 1,085. He called, so the pot is over 2,100, and flop comes queen 4-3, turn 3, river 4, and what ends up happening? All I do is win, 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 no matter what. That's right. I pull in the pot. Sorry for my horrible dancing. I pull in the pot. He claims he had ace king. He mucked. I assume he did. I mean, unless he made a crazy call with some ridiculous like 9-8 suited. But happy to take down the sizable pot, third hand of the night, and more than double my stack. So all I do is win, win, win. All right.
All right, you cover. You ready? 1,035.
The club would have done queen for 4.
In this next hand, I pick up Jack 7 of hearts under the gun, and I decide to switch it up a little bit. Normally this is a hand I would fold under the gun, and I decide to make a bet of 40. So I make it $40, and my image is tight. People have only seen me play the aces, a third hand of the night. So I think I can get some folds from hands that normally may call here. So it folds around to the small blind, who completes and also makes the call of 40, and the big blind makes the call of 40. Flop comes Jack 6-3 rainbow. Small blind checks, big blind checks, and I decide to make a continuation bet as I flop top pair, and likely should be good here. I bet out 60, and the small blind fold and the big blind folds, and we take down a small one, but worked out there, and I'm happy to win the pot. So I look down at this next hand on the button, and I pick up ace-6 offsuit. There's a lot of limpers, and I end up making the call as well, as it's a good hand to play on the button. I could raise here, but I decide to take the more conservative route and just see what the flop brings. The flop comes ace-6-7. Pretty good flop. I flop 2 pair. Checks around to me on the button, so nobody bets, and I end up putting a bet out because I got 2 pair, a lot of players in the hand. So although it's a rainbow flop, you know, you don't want to let people see a free turn card. I end up betting 40 and only get 1 caller in late position. The turn comes and it's a 5. So this does put a possible straight out, but since I only got the 1 caller, it's kind of hard to know what he has. He could have an ace. He could have some sort of draw, so that is a bit of a trouble card. So he checks, and I decide to do some pot control, and I also check. The river comes, a deuce, not really a scare card. He leads out for 80 here on the river, and at this point I have to weigh my options. Although I have 2 pair, his leading out, I don't think I can raise here because he's showing strength. I don't really think it's a bluff, although it could be since I did check back the turn. Since it was ace-6-7, he could have 8-9 and turned a straight and checked it to conceal, you know, his strength of his hand. I think it's pretty straightforward here. I can't fold, it's too tight of a fold. I end up making the call, and we're no good. He turns over 8-9, he turned the straight, and we lose a hand, but I think there's not really much we can do here, and I think we lost a minimum. Raising here wouldn't have done us any good, and folding may have saved us $80, but if I'm folding that, I'm pretty much folding everything. So we lost that one, but you know, we're still doing pretty good for the night. In this next hand, I pick up a pair of 3s under the gun, and I decide to limp for the $10. It folds around to a player in mid position, and he bets $50. This is a regular, this is a pro, this is a guy who, you know, this is what he does for a living, and I've played with him a couple times. He's relatively tight, but he does like to raise a lot pre-flop. The button calls, and I decide to call the additional 40, and we go 3 ways to a flop. The flop is ace-ace-8 rainbow. The first act is myself, and I check to see what the original pre-flop raiser is going to do. He ends up putting a bet of $100 into a pot that's about 160, 165. The button folds, and it's on me. I end up deciding to make a raise. Now, the reason I made a raise is because this is a flop where it's very easy to fire a continuation bet. You know your opponents are probably not going to have an ace most of the time, and you can just take it down right away. Considering the player, and I know he always continuations bets from what I've seen, I'm going to make a raise where it's going to be very hard for him to continue. By me raising it to 225, which is the amount I did, it makes it seem super value bet. Like, I'm just crying for a call. I just want him to call. So it's going to be super hard for him to continue with any hand, even jacks, queens, you know, anything besides an ace. He's not going to continue here because he basically would have to hit some running cards or 2-outer or something like that. The reason I raise also is because by me calling 100, really on the turn, there's not many cards that improve my hand, so I think it makes more sense to either fold or raise. Calling, I'm going to be put in a tough scenario. I'm going to probably have to check if I don't hit my card, and he's going to bet on the turn big, and I'm just going to have to fold. So I think there's a lot of value in raising. A lot of players that like to c-bet because most of the time, you know, in Hold'em you miss a flop. So I ended up making it 225, and he folded pretty instantly, so we take down that pot, making a pretty good read of the player that bet pre-flop. Happy to take that one down.
That's what I did. I saw it, that's what I did.
So in this next hand, I end up picking up queens in the small blind. There's a straddle on from the button, so I'm first tagged pre-flop, and I decide just to call the 25 as I'm first tagged and I want to see what develops. The big blind calls the 25, 2 more players call, and I was hoping that the button actually would, you know, raise his straddle because that's a typical play, but he ends up checking. The flop comes and it's a 10 of clubs, 9 of clubs, 5 of hearts. I'm first tagged, so I want to see, you know, what the action is on the table, so I decide to check. Pretty good flop for my hand. I have a overpair, so let's see what develops, and it ends up checking around to the button, who was a straddler, and he puts out a bet of 100. I decide that there's 2 plays here. I'm never folding. I could either raise or I can call. I think I'm pretty good, and the bet of 100 is one that I can very easily call, and I don't think anybody else is going to come along. Obviously I don't know, but I end up just calling, thinking that the button probably has a 10 or a 9 and he's just making a bet. So I call the 100. The big blind happens to call the 100 as well, and the other 2 players fold. So we're ending up going to a turn, and the turn is the king of spades. At this point, the straight does get there with queen jack, but blockers. I want to talk to you guys about blockers. Some of you probably know what blockers are, other people probably don't. Blockers are very important to know and hold them because it is those cards where your opponent likely cannot have them because you have them. Sometimes, like for flush draws, you may have the ace of hearts blockers, which means the odds of him having, you know, certain hearts may not be there since you already have one in your hand. In this particular case, I have a pair of queens, which means the likelihood of somebody having a queen jack is less likely as I have 2 queens in my hands. So in this hand, I'm not too scared of the king. I'm gonna throw out a bet, and I end up making a bet of $250. The big blind folds, and the button thinks about it for a long time. Another reason why this is also a good bet, in my opinion, you guys tell me if I'm wrong or not, is because since the likelihood of anybody else having queen jack is very unlikely, it is just as likely that I could have queen jack, because obviously the chances of anybody else having it are pretty rare. So I think even if you have a king here, my bet shows strength. My bet shows that I have a pretty strong hand, and it's hard to continue with 1 pair type hands. The button thinks for a long time, and he ends up folding, and we scoop the pot. I want to know what you guys thought of my play here, but I think the way I went about it was pretty good. I could have raised the $100 bet on the flop, but I think it was good to see a turn. It ended up working out. I'd like to know what you guys think. Of course, always hit up that comment section and let me know what you think. And the session went pretty good. I can't complain. I made a profit of $1,429 profit. So, you know, This is a second vlog, right? Yeah, second vlog. I'm already thinking about the third one. My mind's always thinking 1,000 miles per hour. Second vlog, and we end up, you know, another win. A lot bigger than the first one. There's ups and downs, but happy to have a second profitable cash in the vlog for the second vlog. And subscribe and like again. I want to thank everybody who viewed. I want to thank the subscribers I have. Now I gotta put out more content, and yeah, man, I just want to thank everyone for watching, and for those of you who are watching new, subscribe and like, subscribe and like, subscribe and like. All right, guys, catch you guys in the next vlog. Take it easy, and have a great night.